1,434. 48,750,000. This is the number of videos that I've made. This is a camera. This is the number of views, eyes that have watched those videos. And this is the number of revenue that these videos have generated. And in actuality, the numbers are probably a lot different. These are just the ones that I could track. A lot of the videos that I've made here have been my own videos, but also a lot for clients as well. There's a lot that goes into making videos that I've learned over the years. So I made my first video in 2013. I'll pop it up on the screen here. And as you can see, it's not even in focus. So I was a complete noob when I started with my first video. But naturally, 1,433 videos later, I have, learned a few tricks. And I want to share that here with you today so that for those of you that want to leverage video to generate a high online income for yourself, to promote your services, your business, whatever it might be, you can come away from this video having a very clear understanding of how a video eventually turns into money. Now, the 5 steps that I've outlined here in this beautiful piece of artwork that I've created. The first is why. We gotta actually understand why we're making a video. Once we've figured out why we're making videos, we're gonna actually learn a little bit about what makes a good video. And it's a lot more straightforward than you might think. Now, the third point, authentic versus authority. This is something so important because it's gonna allow you to feel joy, excitement, contentment when you're creating videos. But it's also going to build authority. Now, these things are often at odds with each other, authentic and authority, and we're going to dig into that. But we need to really nail both of these if we want to make money from our videos. Now, number 4 is turning the ideas that we have into cash. If you want to just skip ahead to that step, you're screwed. You need to understand each and every part of this process in order to make money, because videos don't make money. And I'll unpack that as we go through this. The 5th step then is going to be the 80-20 rule, and it's not the 80-20 rule that you have heard before. I completely made this one up, and it's a pretty interesting rule, and it really relates to content creation, and to be honest, online business as a whole. If you don't understand this, then you're putting yourself in a hard position. Now, with that being said, let's go on to the first step. The reason we make videos, it's for attention. And I know you might say, oh no, I don't want attention. I'm not egotistical. I'm not saying you're egotistical. We need to stop associating this word attention with selfishness. If we want to make money from our videos, you have to have attention. Because the reason people give you money is because you're giving them value in exchange for the money. And if you don't have anyone's attention, they're not going to be aware of the value that you have. So, with that in mind, we need attention. And I think you really need to unwire the part of yourself that sees wanting attention as a bad thing. It's not. By you getting attention, you give value to other people and you positively impact the lives of other people. And that's what we're really doing with videos and storytelling, is we're capturing attention to create a better experience for the people that are watching. So the attention we capture, we just give them a better life by creating videos. And that's a really beautiful thing. And too many people are afraid of attention. You know, we see it as a bad thing. You don't want to be an attention seeker. You don't want to be an attention seeker for the wrong reasons, but you do want to be an attention seeker for the right reasons, because it increases your livelihood. It benefits the other people that are watching. And, you know, everybody wins. You win, they win, but nobody wins without attention. So that's why we make videos. And I'm just going to leave it at that for right now. It'll make more sense as we move through this. Now, step number 2. Hook story. So this is actually Javier. He's a friend of mine that I met in Turkey. Well, I'll get back to him in a minute. Tension and resolve. The fundamentals to a good story. Think of any movie you've ever watched. Why did you watch it the whole way through? It's because you wanted to know what happened at the end. Now, at the beginning of a video, at the beginning of a movie, at the beginning of your life, there was tension, you know? There was curiosity that was piqued. You know, you pop out and it's like, oh, who is this little baby gonna grow into? Very exciting. And this arrow here, we could call it the bulk of the story of your life. And then the resolve is when we find out the answer to the question that was posed in the tension. So the question was, who is this guy going to be? And the resolve was, he ended up with a man bun and an orange t-shirt, talking about how to make videos and make money. That's my story. Now let's get back to Javier. He was a really nice guy. We spent a lot of time together, and we fell out of touch because we just weren't in the same location anymore. And one day, Javier went into the bank in his hometown. And it wasn't anything like out of the blue for him to go to the bank. Like, he went in every week to pick up his social security. But yeah, this day, it was just a different day. And he went in as he usually does, dressed as he usually was, and he was just gonna go up to the teller and get his check and go. But when he went in, he kind of felt like something was off in the bank. And, you know, he had been like looking around, and he saw some people that he didn't usually see there, because he usually went early on a Tuesday morning. So you kind of see the same folk going at the same time. And there was just something off about some of the people he saw there that day. Like, he hadn't seen them before. Like, they weren't locals, he thought. So anyway, he went up to the teller, and he asked for his check, as he usually did. You know, he knew the teller knew him, and he realized that he forgot his ID, and he couldn't get his check. So he had to leave, and then he just went home and he got his ID, and everything was good. So, look, Javier's not a real person, at least not someone I know. But I just made that point to illustrate this tension and resolve. I imagine when you were listening to that story, you thought maybe something awful happened to Javier. Maybe he got held up by the people that didn't look normal. But no, the plot twist there is he just forgot his ID, he went home, and then it was all fine. I just make this point to illustrate the importance of setting up a story, setting up your videos, because that's what keeps people engaged and watching till the end. Now, we want to do this in a way that is authentic and gives us authority, credibility. So, I suppose we're on to the third point now, aren't we? Because it's tying in, as I say. So we get the attention, then we have to deliver a nice story. You know, we need to have a hook to keep people engaged. And that's well on our way now to making money. But before we do that, we gotta nail this authentic versus authority argument. Now, a lot of people think authentic and authority are at odds. And I'm just going to Google real quickly what authentic is, because I actually don't know the definition. Google says, of undisputed origin and not a copy, genuine. Okay, cool. It doesn't seem to me like that needs to be at odds with authority. People associate authority with being better than, or like knowing everything. And if you're presenting yourself as that, then how can you be authentic? And this is a question that some of my clients ask, is how do I be an authority in the content that I create? So here's the thing. You are an authority on many things relative to other people. So it's just a matter of making that clear in our storytelling. Now, in this video, the reason I put these numbers here, it's just to illustrate that I have some experience with making videos and with this whole process. Now, if I didn't put any of that there, you might not see me as a person that has any knowledge about videos. And the truth is, there's plenty of people far more knowledgeable than I am about making videos. But I have some degree of authority in the area just because I've invested a lot of time into it. And I can be authentic here because I'm me. And I'm just sharing my unique understanding and philosophy around these things. So I feel authentic and an authority on this subject. Now, if I was talking to someone way smarter than me about this stuff, I would be viewing them as the authority. So we can actually have multiple authorities in the same thing. And you know, this is something that stops people from creating, from selling anything, and all the time. And ultimately it comes down to imposter syndrome. So this guy, that's Pablo, and he's an imposter, or so he thinks, but he's actually not. So this is what imposter syndrome looks like. The way that we usually view ourselves is that we know a tiny little thing. So we view this like red circle as everything in the world, like the earth. We think we just know a little sliver, like that little dot in the middle. And then we think that everybody else knows that and all of this. So we think we're quite silly, quite uneducated. But actually, in reality, this is more reflective of how things are. So this is what you actually know. It's this bigger circle. And everyone else knows a little bit about that, and they know their own thing, right? So we need to shift from this way of viewing ourselves to this way of viewing ourselves. Because when you realize that, yeah, some people know what you know. I'm sure you know how to make a simple video with an iPhone. But you might not know every single thing that I'm sharing here. Or if you do, you might know some variation of it. But you can still take away a little piece of what I'm sharing here. So the authentic, that kind of sorts itself out when you just choose to be you. And you do that by showing up, like literally, by putting your face in front of the camera and sharing your ideas. You know, if you're just sharing something word for word from a book that you read, then that's actually not authentic by the definition I just read out. In which case, you're kind of just, you know, sharing the information, and you're not authentic or an authority really, because you're basically transmitting somebody else's information. But all of this stuff, while none of it's original, it's my understanding of it. Like I sat down this morning and I drew all of this and thought about what are the things I've learned through making 1,434 videos. And this is kind of what I came up with. So Authentic and authority don't have to be at odds with each other. You know a lot more than you do. And the fact that you think otherwise just means you're suffering from imposter syndrome, which is pretty normal. I suffer from that as well. And the only way to get over that is to get evidence actually that you are an authority to somebody. Now, I must be transparent. For the first, I don't know how many few hundred videos I made, I didn't really feel like I was particularly useful or an authority on anything because I just didn't have the external validation or the evidence yet. So I wasn't making any money. I didn't have any clients or anything like that. Nobody was engaging with things. But then as time went on, as I started making more videos, they started reaching more people. I had different clients, generated income and stuff like this. And that kind of led me to believe that actually maybe this is more reflective of reality as opposed to this. And the only way to get through that really is to just take action and to practice doing this stuff. And a lot of people just don't do that, so they stay in imposter town and don't do anything. So I imagine if you're here, you're probably on your way out there. So kudos to you. But anyway, moving on, we're going to talk about turning these ideas into cash. So the ideas being the stuff in your head. I mean, I know you've got a lot of stuff going on in your head. And turning that into cash is actually a lot more straightforward than you might think. But we need to have authority in order to do that. In most cases, there is one variation of events, I suppose, where you don't need authority. And that is if you're an entertainment content creator. I'm not talking about entertainment content creation here because I'm just not. I'm talking to people that are creating educational content, that are creating transformations for people. But you probably already knew that. So you don't need to be an authority if you're making entertainment content because the way you monetize is different. You monetize through advertising versus through an offer, which is what we're going to talk about shortly. All right, so videos don't make dollars. Now that might be confusing because they make videos make money. Well, that's not how it works. I was doing some organic farming a couple of years ago. I was speaking with a local videographer friend of mine, and he said to me, ads don't make money. And I thought to myself, oh yeah. See, I was making videos at the time for people, and I was asking him, I was like afraid, like what if they don't make any money? And he was like, well, the videos don't make money. And I was like, oh yeah, I guess not. So what does make money then? Well, an offer makes money. So this kind of money, it came from selling products. It came from selling services. Some of it came from selling other people's products or services. So that would be like AdSense, which is the more entertainment route. We're not going there in this, but the thing to note here is that videos don't make money. So if you're making videos, but you don't have an offer, which is the thing that makes money, so that's the product or the service, you're not going to make any money. So I have here, is that a lie? And that's just to say, it's not completely true that videos don't make money. Because if you have your ad revenue thing going on YouTube, you will make a bit of money. But you're not going to make as much money in most cases, unless you're getting gazillions of views, than you would if you just had an offer. So when you have an offer, you can get 500 views and you can make $10,000. But you're only going to make like 50 cents through ad revenue. So in that situation, we really need to kind of flip this so that we make more money by getting less views. Because ultimately, a viewer is not just a viewer. So there's something we really need to consider when we're creating content is who are we creating the content for and what is the problem that they have. So the first step is to have an idea. So the idea I had for this video was on how to make videos and how to create a back end that creates revenue for yourself. So that's the idea. Now the content is this little production I've made here. And this is an asset. This video is an asset. Now, it's February 2025 right now. But there's probably going to be somebody watching this in February 2026. And this information is still going to be quite relevant and hopefully helpful. So, I've created an asset by creating this video. And this is really important because it's very high leverage. And this is going to stand to us. And this is going to stand to me personally in this instance. And it's going to serve my business for months and years to come. So when we have the idea, we move to content, right? So the content needs to solve a problem. So your idea is going to be based on your knowledge or expertise and stuff like that. The content then is going to be fleshing out that idea to highlight a problem, highlight a challenge, and then bring somebody on a story through tension and resolve to the point where we've solved the problem for them. So whatever the problem was. Now, we have an opportunity to make a call to action. So if you're watching an ad on TV, the ad is going to tell you to do something. They're going to tell you to buy the toilet paper, buy the mattress, switch your electricity provider, whatever. That's the call to action, okay? Now, the next step is very important, okay? So for the context of making videos, YouTube videos, our call to action is going to tell somebody to go somewhere, okay? We're going to tell them to go maybe to a landing page, an LP. On there, we might have a VSL, a video sales letter. BN. What was I even trying to say there? BN. Booking link? BN. I don't even remember what that was going to be. Oh yeah, buy now. Yeah, so the call to action, it's going to send them somewhere. Now, depending on what it is you're selling, what's the offer that you're selling, this is going to impact whether you send them to a sales call or a landing page or a buy now or whatever. So I have a video I put out last week. You can watch it here. It's called How to Go Full-Time on YouTube. And that goes more in depth on this whole portion. But just in summary here, this is what makes money. When people watch your content and you tell them to go somewhere, and then they go to that place, if you've got that set up correctly, it's going to print money for you. And in doing so, you're going to transform the lives of the clients that you're serving. And you're also going to transform your life because it's really fun to transform other people's lives. I just had a call with one of my clients an hour ago, and I thought to myself, how lucky am I that I get to sit next to this wonderful person and see them smile, and this is my job. So everybody wins when you do this, and it's so fulfilling, and you know it's so energizing. That's a bit of a tangent. Anyway, back to this, right? So we turn our idea into cash, and more detail is in that other video, which you can just watch after this video. Now from here, we get on to my 80-20 rule. Here we have a sad face, and here we have a happy face. The mind is sad, content is happy. And what I have realized over doing this work for close to a decade now myself, and working with people for 4 or 5 years, is that content creation, making videos and thus making money, it's not about the content for the most part. It's the problem isn't with the making the videos, the problem isn't with the making the money. The problem is with the mindset that we have. It's with this imposter syndrome. Because if we just remove this whole thing, it would be so much easier. But because we don't believe that we have anything of value to share, we don't make the content. So I say 80% of content creation is cultivating the mindset. It's realizing that you have something worth sharing, that you have something valuable that other people need and that other people are willing to pay you for, make money. If you don't believe that it's valuable, you're not going to make the videos, you're not going to send people to your landing page or whatever it is. You're not even going to come up with an offer because you just can't see the value that you have. Now, 20% of the work is content. And people spend just all their time thinking about stuff. And it's a tragedy. Because if you just flip this around and just made content 80% of the time and then spent 20% of the time thinking, all of this you'd be sorted. But we really need to reverse this and sort this out, because too many people, myself included, as I say, like, I was making videos for a long time before I was making any money from the videos. It was only really in the last 5 years that I've kind of learned more about the making money part. This whole thing comes in different stages. Like, I was making videos for a long time. I didn't have an issue with that, but I had an issue with this authority part. And the thing is, if we don't lean into this authority, then we end up just with authenticity, which is a beautiful thing. But we got to realize that if you're just talking about how, sad you are without sharing, I sound so cruel. If you're just talking about, the challenges in your life without talking about how you overcame them, then you're never going to build up this authority. I was speaking with a wonderful client of mine, and they were killing it. Really, really impressive business background, multiple businesses, multiple coaching offers, helping other people. And they asked me, I don't know how to convey my authority. And I'm like, did you just hear yourself? You've done all of these things and you're struggling to convey your authority. Literally just say it. I made 1,434 videos. Like, that's it. That's how, that gives me authority to talk about making videos. It doesn't mean I'm the best, but I don't have to be the best. So, this imposter, we got to tame that imposter. Now, once you've cracked all of this, you are well on your way to making videos and making money. And it's as simple as just following the steps. Understand why you're doing it. You want attention because you have something valuable to share with people. We want to focus on the hook in the story because we want people to listen to the valuable thing that we have to say, because it's going to benefit them. If we can tell a better story, we're going to have more impact. We need to be authentic because we need that for ourselves, and people deserve to interact with an authentic person through the screen. And we need authority. I spelled authority wrong. Sorry about that. We need the authority because if we don't make it known that we have something worth sharing, they're not going to know. They're not going to listen. And we need the ideas to turn into cash because we need to buy groceries. We need to look at this because a lot of us are looking in the wrong place. And if you make a few tweaks up here, all of this becomes a hell of a lot easier. So that's how you make videos. And that's how you make money with the videos that you've made. If you want to talk to me about this, there's a link in the description. I work with people one-on-one to help them with this whole process, to help turn their ideas, their skills into cash. So check the link in the description, book a call, we can talk about it. And if it's a situation where I can help you and it's a win-win, then great. And if not, then great. I hope this was still useful for you. There's also plenty of resources down in the description that are completely free that will help you with creating an offer. I've got a free 7-day creator course down there as well to help you with your content creation. And until the next time I make a video, or the next time you watch a video, goodbye.